value. Meaning, we will establish ideas that identify a gap in the society and come up with solutions to solve problems, provide an improvement to current field systems, and also to generate new experiences for the benefit of the aspect of growth and becoming better. Again, my name is Gadesha Miranda, and I will be your MC for today, with my MC having to introduce himself later. And as we settle in, I promise to keep us in time, also on time. Therefore, allow me to welcome our Innovation Week colleague from the IEEE Club, Boniface Ochieng. A round of applause as he comes on stage. A round of applause again.
Good morning, everyone. So, distinguished guests, faculty members, industry leaders who are in the room, my fellow students and innovators, good morning. Good afternoon, I mean. Yeah, so my name is Boniface Ochieng. I currently am a student here at Multimedia University of Kenya, a final year student taking electrical and telecommunications engineering, and I currently serve as the chairperson for IEEE. So IEEE simply stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So I served as the co-lead for organizing this whole event, and as you can see, we have a really good participation, and I'm really looking forward to interacting with you guys so that we can be able to interact, to be able to share ideas, as this is an innovation week by itself, so that we can also be able to understand what the industry has for us, and also us as students, how we can contribute towards the industry. Okay. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to these sessions with you guys. It's going to be a really packed event. We are going to be here from today, and then we are going to summarize this event on Thursday. So looking forward to interacting with you guys throughout the whole days of the event as we try to make Innovation Week 2026 a success. Thank you very much, and I'd like to welcome my colleague to give the opening remarks. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. Distinguished guests, the President, Institution of Engineers of Kenya, respected faculty, students, and fellow innovators. Good afternoon. It is both an honor and a privilege to stand before you today, not only as the chairperson of Mukesa, but as the co-lead of Innovation Week 2026. Welcome to Innovation Week 2026. This year's theme, Harnessing Creativity for Innovation, is more than just words on a program. It is a call to action, a challenge to all of us, to each one of us, to think beyond what exists and to step into what could be. It begins in the mind, in curiosity, in simple but powerful decisions to refuse to be ordinary. Over the next 3 days, we are not just hosting an event, we are building an ecosystem, a space where ideas are challenged, refined, and transformed into something beautiful. From today's opening conversations on Africa's innovation frontier to discussions on data, financing, and implementation, we begin asking the right questions. How ideas move from imagination to impact, and how innovation can respond to real-world challenges. As we progress, we deepen the journey through hands-on workshops, industry engagement, and ultimately project exhibitions. Where ideas are tested, solutions are built, and innovators step fully into the role of innovators. And as we create to challenge limits and to turn possibilities into progress, I want to tell each and every one of us that this week is yours. Ask questions, challenge ideas, engage deeply, and network with intention. To our partners and to our speakers, thank you for believing in the power of student innovation. And so, as we open this Innovation Week 2026, I once again invite each one and every one of you to see these next 3 days as they are. And years from now, when we look back, I hope we do not simply remember the speeches, the exhibitions, or the applause, I hope you remember this as the moment possibility became tangible, the moment ideas found courage, the moment young minds chose not to just dream of this future, but to build it. Because innovation at its core is not hope, so let the next 3 days ignite something within us. Let us begin. Thank you, and welcome to Innovation Week 2026. Now I want to welcome our Director of Innovation and Research to officially open the session. Thank you.
Thank you, and all protocols observed. Today, we are not just opening the Innovation Week, but we are also opening the space where our young innovators can sketch their ideas and sit next to our engineers, our professors who are here, and move the innovation ecosystem journey for this great university. Before maybe our keynote speaker, we continue this session, I want to recognize all our local organizing committee for this Innovation Week, not forgetting the club and societies with their executive members who are here. I request that the organizing committee, led by IEEE chair and also the Mukesa president, together with the organizing committee which has...
I serve as the vice chair. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We can take our seats. Our keynote speaker, who is our chief guest, this team that you have seen here is actually one of the pillars of any university that supports innovation, and because of that, the university management saw to it that they actually come up or establish the Directorate of Research and Innovation to guide and support such a team, very diligent in terms of just mentoring and ensuring that their ideas are channeled and guided towards having a product. As maybe I welcome the Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, who is actually one of the patron for Mukesa. Most of the members of Mukesa and have been here, and even the officials. Allow me just to give a word to the students. Some 18 years ago, I was seated where you are seated. I think in a third year class. I was a chair of the science club. And in most cases, this leadership and even the officials who have been here is a volunteer job. They are not actually paid, as they spent their night and their day. They are doing it for volunteer work. But it happened that there was an expo at KICC, and having an advantage of being part of the chair and the leadership, that was the first time I actually grasped my scholarship for my master's studies. And of course, what followed is history. So these platforms, the summits, the summer schools, the innovation weeks are very critical, and I hope as we move forward within this innovation week, which actually ends on Thursday, we are going to have many kind of networking sessions And I request the students, I know all of us are looking towards, getting maybe a BSc, depending on which course you're doing, and getting a good certificate. But beyond the certificate, I think there's much that you can do. Beyond the certificate, you need also to demonstrate your skills, to demonstrate your networking skills, and also how to apply those skills. You might have a very good certificate, but if you don't have a good etiquette in terms of communicating that science or communicating that art, it might be a challenge, because in the world, everybody now has the certificates. So such platforms give you an avenue, especially to implement and put into use the ideas that actually you have been working on, whether they are half-finished projects, whether they are wild ideas where somebody even ignores them. Never give up. And the key word here is persistence. Persistence, persistence, and persistence. I'm very encouraged by the local organizing committee, which is purely student-led. Bana DVC, these students have had about 90% in terms of just organizing this event. Our directorate, which is under your office, we are just coming in to support. And this is their event. And that's why we just came to give you blessings that go ahead so that actually you have a feeling of your event. Allow me, on behalf of all the deans and all the directors and all the patrons within the university, to request one of our professor who is a full engineer, and all of us, I'm very sure, most of the clubs here are anchored under the Faculty of Engineering and Technology, like IEEE and also Mukesa, to come and give his remarks. Professor Mayaka, please. Let's give a round of applause.
I don't know whether we have full engineers, but we have full professors. So I'm a full professor of the university. Let me start by recognizing our chief guest, the President IK, Engineer Shama Gitembe, our DVC, Academic Affairs, Research and Innovation, Professor Go, our invited guests, police, and students. Good afternoon. I think before I say anything, I would like to introduce myself. I guess the majority from the presentation of the student leadership which I've seen in front here must be coming from. How many engineering students are here? I guess there are also other faculties, computing, science. Let me introduce myself first and probably say something small about the chief guest. For those who don't know me, I'm a professor of manufacturing engineering and a dean of well researched, and I continue being a quite a number of researches. I'm a member of what we call the manufacturing research chair, which is domiciled at JKUAT, and it is the second research chair in this country. The first one was in medicine, and it went to Moi University. The second one now is in manufacturing. For those who watch news, I think earlier this year or end of last year, that chair was announced in the Faculty of Education somewhere in Kisii University. So that is what I do in research. I do a lot in evaluation of coconut. It involves a lot of aspects there, businesses, tooling, and everything. When it comes to teaching, of course, I've been teaching for the last 34 or 33, 34 years, yeah? So you can, and I finished my PhD when I was 28. Yeah? So some of you can start calculating what my age. Yeah? Okay, and in terms of research, consultancy, I'm also very much into consultants. We are the ones who constructed the library, those ones who have gone to Masai Mara University. You can see that was carried out with our supervision. I'm currently almost concluding a project which we call Kenya IST, Kenya Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, which is at Konza. And some of our engineering students have gone there. They know what we have constructed there. Apart from that, I also participate in the regional project implementation team at Canberra. We are constructing what we call Inter-University Council Phase 2 buildings. So that is briefly who I am and what I'm doing in my spheres of teaching, research, and consulting. Let me talk something small about my president, Ike. He is a very close friend of mine. I think he has been attending a number of functions in this university, and even the construction of this housing thing you are seeing down there, he had a hand in it. I remember we were with the VC and the DVC in Mombasa, and we met the people who were in charge of this housing, the housing which is going around the country. And it was thanks to the chair, that is the president of IK, who invited us, and our VC was there, and that is where all those issues were started. Yeah, there are a lot of things I know. Even 1 or 2 weeks ago, he was also here officiating some sports which we were doing, and you can see he has also come here for this week of innovation. So I think we need to thank him. He has, and I would request him. He's younger than me, I guess. He can still come and mentor, because I see he has got the passion in the academic, yeah, academic. So I think we will see how that can work out. He has got a lot of expertise and experience that can be shared. Thank you. So let me now come to what we are having today. It is harnessing creativity for innovation. What I wanted to talk about that does not exist, apart from what we have. We go beyond the classrooms, because we give you knowledge to which you can use now to create to create new products, new processes which are required by the society. So we should go beyond the knowledge that we do, the prototyping, the simulations that we do in the labs, and go to the industry or go outside there, create things that will assist the society. And of course, as innovators, there are a lot of things. Innovation comes with positive things, others are negative, yeah? We talk of disruptive technologies. So innovation is also a risk-taking venture, yeah? Innovation requires you to take courage. Some technologies are very hazardous and very dangerous, but you have to make it. You have to go through this. So let me not take a lot of time, but say that let's have an impact in what we are innovating, transfer our technologies, our processes to the people, to the society, so that we can make a meaningful contribution as people in the academy. So I think with those remarks, I don't know, I would pass the mic to the director, and then probably invite them. Thank you. And God bless you.
Another round of applause. And now see why he is a full professor. We need courage for us to take innovation to another level, especially with these dynamics of what we call competition worldwide. That's what we have picked. But more important, the professor of engineering has also mentioned something important. Beyond all this that we are talking about, maybe achieving SDG 8, SDG 7, beyond that, we need to move our research to what we call market. And market means you commercialize, you invest, you don't make it academic. And this is a symptom of most of our, maybe I can say our institutions, where beyond just the project, whether it's a 4-month or a 6-month project, we just put them in shelves. That's not innovation. That is just archiving. And we should think outside the box. And I think that's what the Dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology has emphasized. Allow me at this point to welcome our DDC, who is in charge of research and innovation, not only to make his opening remarks, but later on, he will also declare this the Innovation Week to begin and usher in also our keynote speaker, who is our chief guest, a professor, engineer. Welcome. A round of applause.
Thank you very much, Director of Research and Innovation. My Dean of Engineering. And I want to introduce myself. My name is Professor Dr. Engineer Livingstone Gore. I'm a professional electrical engineer and also the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, Research and Innovation. Before I read my speech, I want to also echo the issue of research and innovation, whereby I want to remind ourselves that this research, we must have it in a form of a posho mill. A posho mill, whatever you put in, you expect some results at the end. Nothing should disappear in the posho mill, because then the posho mill will not be performing its function. And then you now choose what you should be doing to achieve your ultimate goal. I do research in quite a number of ways. One of them was on the issue of storage of cereals. When I was doing it, first of all, I started by using ultraviolet light to see how it is the impact of insects when they're loaded with ultraviolet light. And I found that somehow it's like they were enjoying the ultraviolet light, so that was what you call a failure. So I moved into the next level, whereby I was using research from Purdue University in the United States of America. And I used it for storing maize for many years. But when I stored beans, it was also another disaster, because the beans, the weevils for beans are very creative. They make holes so they get oxygen, they cannot be suffocated. So now I moved to the next level, where now I'm using much harder material, and I think the results are getting much better. I'm still on that, but that I do because of my background in agriculture when I was born. However, this morning I want to encourage you, knowing that when you do research at the university, you have got the time, you have got the energy, and you have got the facilities, you have got people you can consult, and therefore you can easily come out with good products. It frustrates me a little because I read theses for people, and one of the theses which I wrote is that we can make electrical insulators in Kenya. We have got all the best quality clay in this place called Embu. I even discovered that even my village, that kind of clay is also found. But that thesis, when it was written, it was shelved. It is the University of Nairobi, and that is it. Nobody thinking about it. It has not been converted into products. I don't want us to go that way. I want us, when we have an innovation, we convert it into a product, because that is what this country needs. That is the only way we can now start comparing Nairobi with ourselves. A better place. Now let me read my speech, which my speech is on the Innovation Week, and I want to say the chief guest, Engineer Shama Kiteme, the President of the Institute of Engineers of Kenya, other invited guests, industry partners, deans and directors present, faculty and staff, students, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon. It is both an honor and privilege to stand before you today to mark the beginning of this year's Innovation Week at Multimedia University of Kenya. I convey greetings from our Vice Chancellor, Professor Rosbella O. Maranga, and the entire university management and council. Ladies and gentlemen, the twin concepts of research and innovation are among the most powerful drivers of economic growth I can now continue. And here I'm saying that it is, ladies and gentlemen, that the twin concept of research and innovation are among the most powerful drivers of economic growth in the world, past and present. Research and innovation fuel entrepreneurship, creates jobs, and provides solutions to some of the most pressing societal challenges. Research is not just for the purpose of it. Innovation is not just for the purpose of it. It is for the issue of solving pressing societal challenges and problems. Indeed, societies that prioritize research and innovation forge ahead and experience accelerated growth through improved productivity and consequently enhance global competitiveness. It is this research and innovation that made China to be a big place. As a country, Kenya's aspirations and a national development framework such as Vision 2030, as well as the bottom-up economic transformation agenda 2023-2027, are deeply anchored in our ability to harness knowledge, a creativity, and technology to transform our society. And you can see what technology can do. Instead of building a road for a week, we can be able to build that road in 3 days. But without technology, it will take years. The youth of our country occupy a central and strategic position across the entire spectrum of research and innovation and commercialization of ideas. Data from the last national census revealed that over 75% of our population is under the age of 35. Ni nyinyi, with about 35% of them falling in the age between 18 and 34 years. This reality presents us with both an extraordinary opportunity and a profound responsibility. On one hand, this vibrant and energetic population has a potential to drive economic growth, fuel innovation, and position Kenya as a global hub of creativity and knowledge. On the other hand, it is sobering to note that this same group constitutes over 70% of the unemployed, according to the research by Child Fund of Kenya. In this regard, institutions of higher learning are charged with the responsibility of nurturing talent, aligning research with industry needs, empowering our students not only to seek jobs, but to create them through innovation, entrepreneurship, and transformative ideas. As institutions of higher learning, we are not only custodians of knowledge, but also incubators of ideas. Our role extends beyond teaching and research. We are called upon to nurture critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving, among others, in our students. At Multimedia University of Kenya, we are committed to creating an enabling environment where ideas can flourish through support for research and innovation, industry collaboration, mentorship programs. The university has established the Directorate of Research and Innovation, whose sole responsibility is coordinate all the matters of research and innovation and build impactful industry collaboration and drive the quest for commercialization of viable research and innovation ideas. This event is one of those efforts, and we are very happy that it is taking place. We are also happy to understand that some of our students have also learned that waste is an opportunity and is wealth. Closely linked to this is the commercialization of innovations. An idea, no matter how brilliant, achieves its true value only when it is translated into a product or service that benefits the society. For example, we all our years since we are growing thought that kiwi can only be manufactured in industrial area. But you can make shoe polish by proper carbonization of waste paper. And then now you go to the chemist, change your ideas and see what type of waxes you should add. Once you do that, and through research, you are going to get a shoe polish. At start, it not be as good as kiwi. But trust me, through knowledge, it can be transformed into a powerful factory, whereby the waste, instead of burning it, you are converting it into a product. Okay. Sorry, I nearly went out. Commercialization bridges the gap between laboratory and marketplace. It enables innovators to scale their solution, attract investment, and contribute meaningfully to economic development. As a university, we are strengthening our partnership with industry to support this transition from ideas to market trade solutions. I want to tell you something about waste. The people who get tender to collect waste here, there was one time they were not awarded the tender, and they requested to be collecting the garbage without being paid. And then I asked myself, these people want garbage without paying us paying them? Then this must be a gold mine. Okay? So here you see thin plastic. How can it be converted into a product? These bottles, how can they be converted into products? So these are the kind of the things we are looking at, and we are saying, boy, even in waste, there's an opportunity. As you embark on the activities for the next 3 days, I encourage each one of you to actively participate, engage with the exhibitions, attend the workshops, ask questions, share ideas, network with fellow innovators and industry partners. Let this week be a platform for learning, collaboration, and inspiration. With those remarks, I officially declare this year's Innovation Week open. And welcome you all to be part of this great idea. Thank you. Now, when now we have officially opened the Innovation Week, we are going to start from the very beginning. And now here we are going to have the grand opening keynote, which will be delivered by our guest, our chief guest today, Engineer Shamala Kiteme, CE FIK RMP, the President of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. Welcome, Engineer.
Our DVC just left the floor, Professor Ngo. I need to emphasize that he's an engineer. That's very important. Our Director, Research and Innovation, Daktari, thank you for having us today. Another good friend of mine, Professor Abel Mayaka, the Dean. Professor is not only in academia, he has participated very effectively in the industry, and we have been together in committees at the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. Let me say, my name is Engineer Shama Kiteme, currently the President of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, and I am a civil engineer. I've practiced for the last 17 years, around the same time that our Director Research Innovation has been out of the university. And my areas of interest are in structural engineering, wastewater engineering, and airport engineering. And I'm very excited to be here today because the Institution of Engineers of Kenya has been very deliberate in bringing university students to be part of IEK. That is so important to us that we entered into a memorandum of agreement with the Council of Engineering Deans and Principals. And I know Professor Mayaka is aware of this. The intention was to make sure that every student doing engineering is actually aware that IEK is there, and they have a chance to become a student member of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya so that it is easier for them to graduate and become graduate member, become corporate member, and a fellow, like I am. I'm a fellow of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya. And so when you invite us in these events, we are very excited, and Majimbo will tell you we always squeeze ourselves to come in to support. And so thank you very much for having us this afternoon. Now, I noted that this is a research and innovation week. And let me confess that I'm very pleased when I talk to university students. And the reason is because I am persuaded that the future of the country is basically in our hands, the young generation. The professor already said the young people, we are over 75%. And those are the people who will determine what Kenya will be. And for your information, I know many of you are Gen Zs, but let me prepare you that in the next 37 or thereof years, Kenya is going to be 100 years since we got our independence. And once in a while, we need to ask ourselves what this country is going to be in our 100th birthday as we celebrate 100 years of our independence. And I noted the theme for this week is harnessing creativity for innovation. Very important. And why so? Because you have the entire life ahead of you as a young people. You are in the university for 4 or 5 years. Very short period of time. I was there 5 years. The University of Nairobi, I finished. And when I tell you I am 17 years post-graduation, you think I'm an ancestor. I am not. I walked those streets, the University of Nairobi, between Mamlaka, Hall 8, Hall 7, and Harithuku Road. Going through the tunnel sometimes, going across, of course, definitely Uhuru Highway. And once in a while, drinking tear gas, because, you know, students will always cause problems, so that tear gas is thrown and they celebrate. So, but that period is over. And I've been in the practice space for those years I'm talking about. But you young people, you hold the potential for transforming this country, this continent. I want to tell you, point blank, that the past generations failed you. And listen to me, they failed you. But before you accuse them for failing you, in the next few years, you are going to be where they have been and where they are in the industry, doing what they have done. And the question is, what different will you do? What are you going to do different so that posterity or generations after you, they will not say you failed them? It is very easy to be complacent. It's very easy to conform to what you find. Change always requires revolutionary thoughts. Change always requires thinking differently. And I think it's Albert Einstein who says you cannot solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created the problem, right? You have to think differently and innovate. Why do I say the past generations failed you? A few weeks ago, I was in numerical machining complex. Professor knows numerical machining complex. And because I'm a big advocate of manufacturing and local manufacturing, I got into the car that was manufactured here in this country. Nyayo Pioneer car. Manufactured here in this country. Everything. The engine block, the body, the gears, whatever you can imagine, manufactured here in this country. About 4 or 5 of those were manufactured. I got into the car, it can drive, and I have the photos myself in the car, in my phone. But what happened? We stopped. We gave up the idea. And the car is there like a museum piece. Imagine of a situation if we continue to manufacture that and we created an industrial complex for car manufacturing. Everything done here, from foundry, everything. You guys would be looking to graduate and get into there to start manufacturing the automobile. Currently, I know we are sampling electric vehicles. Suzu is a CKD, complete knockdown cars coming, and we are sampling over here. But what about controlling the upstream and downstream of the production? Isn't that possible? Isn't that possible? It is possible. How many of you are mechatronic engineering students? You don't have that program. How many of you are mechanical? Sure, lift up your hand. How many of you are electrical? How many of you are civil? Which other program do you have? Those 3. By the time you finish your 5 years, you will have been well equipped to venture into manufacturing as an electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, to venture into actual production. And we have no other option but to make Kenya the manufacturing powerhouse of Africa if we want to change the fortunes of this country. It is very sad that we as a country, we reward more entrepreneurs and not entrepreneurs. But what will change that? It is you and me believing that I have this great idea and I can convert it into a production line, and then looking for partners, financiers and all that, and establishing a production line and having a product that we can see. I have colleagues of mine who have ventured into manufacturing. They are sampling water ATMs and stuff like that, and other great ideas. Just to show you that it is possible to venture into manufacturing, and the theme that is talking about creativity for innovation. It is something that you can run with, and by the way, you don't ever need to be employed. Do you believe so? We do know people who left university, they never completed the university because the pressure to get out there and sell something and produce something, solving a problem in the market, was too much. Do you know them? They are there. But we have invested in you. The country is invested in me because help paid for my university education. My parents perhaps could not have afforded. Some of your parents are paying for your university education, but I also know help is sponsoring some of you. Anyone who is receiving help like me? Me, I studied through help at the university. That is Kenyan's taxes that educated me. And every time I'm giving back to the society, I tell myself, this country invested in my education. Therefore, I have to give back. And therefore, I'm very convinced and persuaded, and I have argued this various places. As I've told the universities, universities must make the society as their laboratory. The universities must make the society as their laboratory. That there is a problem in the society that you are dealing with. The universities must come into the society, research on it, provide a solution that is working in the community. I was very excited when one professor told me send his students for 2 weeks in the villages. The university is located somewhere in a village. To go and talk to people in the community, and they tell the students what problems they have. And when the students come after 2 weeks to now design solutions to those problems. You, as a young generation, must be dissatisfied with what we find ourselves in. The state of affairs that our community is in, we must be dissatisfied with the state of affairs and then decide to chart a different path. We must, and I know you are the generation to correct these ills, because on 24th June 2024, when Gen Zs decided to get to the streets, a cabinet was no longer there. You know that, huh? So you are the generation who will say, this cannot work, and we must change it. We must start rewarding hard work and meritocracy. But I will just give you a few areas of innovation that I think we must innovate in them to transform this society. After that, I'll be sitting. Number one, we know we are really an agricultural economy. Over 26% of our GDP is contribution from agriculture. We must start there. And I will tell you, it may look boring, but the population of this world is growing. And we must feed human beings. You must eat breakfast, lunch, and in the evening something, if you must. And therefore, innovation in agriculture remains a very fertile ground. I have been privileged to walk around the world, and some of the richest people have farmers in the world, whether in Israel, whether in Europe, whether in the US. Because we must produce food that we need to eat. Do you know that? We cannot eat stones. Neither can we eat plastics. And therefore, agriculture remains a very critical area of innovation. How do we do that? We must heavily look at a way of producing food at scale. Many of us are doing what we call subsistence farming. Even in my own, compound, I have a mango tree, I have an avocado tree, I have some banana trees. And I get fruits from there. I was talking to a friend, architect of mine, telling me he has so much avocado that the problem now is a market. But suppose we in Wajir and in other parts of this country, that we solve the food problem in our own country. What can you innovate as a mechanical engineer, as an electrical engineer, to address the problem of food? And beyond that, when we are producing, then agro-processing. We know here in Makueni, they have taken mangoes, they have fruit processing plant. I was in the devolution conference the other day in Homa Bay, and I saw Ndiwa has butternut. You know ile ya kupaka mkate? They are producing. But when I go to the supermarket, what I find there is Natiz, I find Zesta. I don't find Ndiwa butternut. We must invest and do agro-processing. We must invest in agricultural agro-processing and make sure that we produce food, that this country is food secure. Can you hear me? Munanisikia? These are not stories. I'm telling you, some of you who want to be rich and moguls and all that, find a way you can invest in agriculture and value addition in agriculture. So that then we are not having cabbages spoiled, warus spoiled. You are doing something to make sure that food is available for human beings because all of us must eat. See, after here we are going to eat. Am I communicating? So that is a very important area. The other area that is very important, and I have said this because they say everything that we see around us is either grown or mined. You can debate with me, but that table, it is either steel, and you have to mine iron and stuff like that, and you understand, you know metallurgy, you guys, you are mechanical engineers, right? That either it is iron, steel, or nimbao, sindio? So it is either grown or mined. Am I communicating? And therefore, the second important area that I introduced to you that we need innovation is in mining. You have heard about coal in Mui be worth 4 trillion that is lying there, it is not being mined. And the cement manufacturing companies today, they're importing coal from I don't know where. Because they need it for production of clinker and processing and stuff. Civil engineers, you said you're civil engineers. Munajua clinker, right? And the process of production of cement, right? I also know mechanical engineers aware of that. Coal is lying there. We were told the other day, Western Kenya, there is gold. Almost 1 billion worth. Sumesikia hiyo? Students. We have been told that here in Embu, there is coltan. Coltan. We have been told the rare earth minerals in Mrima Hills here in coasts, they are worth 9 trillion. Crazy figures. We must innovate in the area of mining and processing of minerals locally. Therefore making the mining industry vibrant in this country. Guys, can you listen? Are you listening to me? Mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, think about how you can innovate around the space of mining. Number 3, I talked about agro-processing. But on the real production of food, we also need to invest in mechanization. So that now, what we do for subsistence purposes, we can grow in mass and overproduce. You must be embarrassed as Kenyans when we are importing sugar from Brazil. When you are importing rice from Pakistan. You must be embarrassed as Kenyans. You must be embarrassed. You can innovate creatively in mechanization to make sure that we produce enough food to feed this country and sell export the surplus produce. The other thing, point number 4, we must assemble all the machines that we need for mechanizing agriculture and stuff and every other kind of equipment we require. And also we must invest in producing vehicles in this country. How many believe that with me? You don't seem to believe in me. Where are our mechanical engineering graduates going to be working if we don't start producing the agricultural machines and equipment that we need in this country? I've just told you I was in NMC the other day, and they are producing the pumps, for example, completely. The engine is produced there. You know the one that is pumping water? It is produced there. And I know, Prof, you may want to take the students there if they have not gone there. Here, NMC, here. You can do that. They have manufactured hospital beds. You know a hospital bed? They have manufactured there. Fantastic things. It is possible. KPLC is relying on NMC for cables and stuff like that because we can manufacture here. I'm not talking about another country. We can manufacture in this country. And that is what is going to create opportunities for our electrical engineering graduates and mechanical engineering graduates. And so, believe you me, that we must start assembling and manufacturing this equipment here. And your creativity and innovation is required in this space so that we stop importing and we start producing and exporting instead. The fifth point, and now you are going to think I am crazy. We must move to assemble aeroplanes and drones in this country. It is possible. It is possible. The reason why Ukraine has given enough problems to Russia, and Prof was in Russia. You know, Russia is a great country. I love Russia. It is because they have innovated in the space of drones. That electronic warfare has placed them at a place where they are almost matching Russians and creating enough problems for them. And that war is actually literally in stalemate. Because Russia is innovating, Ukraine is innovating, they jam the systems, the Ukrainian systems, they make progress. Quickly, Ukraine learns the technology Russians are deploying, and then they know how to counter. Today, Iran has also become a menace as they fight with Israel and US because of innovating in the space of drones and ballistic missiles. Iran is one country that trains many engineers. If you can check, number one, China, US, Japan, Russia is somewhere there, but Iran is top there in terms of producing engineers. And though I'm saying we must start assembling, producing aeroplanes and drones locally. And I'm saying so because you people must believe it's possible in this country and make it happen. Are you with me? You don't seem to believe what I'm saying. Ama mko na njaa? As engineers, we are trained in aerodynamics, thermodynamics, statics, dynamics. We are trained in all these basic principles. And therefore, you can innovate anything. Microprocessor technology. I was in Dedan Kimathi the other day in semiconductor technologies. They are producing semiconductors there. You know that? Mechatronic, chemical engineering students, chemical engineering students, electrical engineering students, mechanical engineering students are right there producing those things. Here, STL. Professor is another place you can also entice students by taking there. Am I communicating? Right here in Kenya. The last point I'll tell you, this is 6th point, whoever was writing. You guys are not writing, you're very intelligent. You'll remember all my points. But my last point is that we must make Kenya an engineer's country. Tunasikizana? Many of you are engineers here, right? But any country that has grown and transformed itself has invested in manufacturing. Because you must invest in productive sectors, which are agriculture, mining, manufacturing, etc. But if you're only growing on service industries, that is banking, insurance, and those kind of services, logistics, whatnot, you can get what we call growth glut. But when you're in productive industries, agriculture, mining, manufacturing, stuff like that, you can only keep growing, get clientele, and keep growing. That is what has transformed economies like the United States and China. Today, as we speak, Professor, you know, China is now beating the US in R&D. That tells you China has literally overtaken the US. And in the next few years, that country that can get 120,000 engineers sit somewhere just to research on a particular problem. We saw Chat GTP, then they produce, is it DeepSeek? At a fraction of the costs that is being produced in the West. That's the kind of mindset that we have. And Chinese, they believe in themselves. They have invested in power. In fact, where they beat the West is because no matter the costs, they are going for what they want. Am I communicating? We must believe in ourselves as Kenyans. We must believe in the potential of this country. We must believe in ourselves as engineers. Are you together? And that is what has cost me, after making a lot of noise as a president of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya, I've decided I can also move in the policy space. And I know most of you are voters in Kajiado North. Sindio? How many are voters in Kajiado North? So I'll be asking for your vote to be your next member of parliament. 2027. Why? Because we must move into the space of policy and make sure that these things are not stories we are talking about. Am I communicating? Juu tumepiga makelele kama professionals mpaka tumefika hiyo place ya kusema now we must do this. We must not have Chinese constructing everything in this country. We must not have, because you guys have gone to the university and you can do this. Simneza fanya hivi. You know, I've gone to the streets to say pair Kenyan engineers jobs. Umeniona nikiwa streets. But we have this opportunity to showcase this through this week, Innovation Week, the potential that you have. So we must make Kenya an engineers nation, not because now we are a lawyers nation, where lawyers have a say in everything. We need to make sure that engineers are making the decisions. We must think about innovation in ways that are going to transform our society. If what you're doing, the end is not to transform the society or solve a problem, then your innovation will have a question mark. Innovate something that is going to make life better, bearable for the society. Am I communicating? When you are solving the problem of food through innovation, you are meeting the need of the society. When you are solving the problem of mobility, you are meeting the need of society. When you are solving the problem in the hospital, you are addressing a problem of a sick society, then when they are healed or they are out of sicknesses, they are productive. You are solving the problem societies that face. And I challenge us to think about people who have ventured into solving a particular problem and the stories they have become. Elon Musk is dreaming to be the first human being to go to Mars. You know, he has ventured into his spaceships, you know? So you know that. And the fellow is right here from South Africa and thriving in the US. We know the Apple phones we like to use. We don't like Samsung, we want Apple. We know the people who have spent their time, Steve Jobs, Steve Wozniak, and Ronald Wayne. And what we are proud of, the Apple products. Matter of fact, the real wealth does not come from employment, but from investing in innovative breakthrough technologies and ideas. Please, as engineers of the future and present, think about that problem you want to solve. I am thinking about the problem I want to solve. I am solving problem in my capacity as an engineer. And I do know all of us must end up in manufacturing. That's also my passion. We must somehow end up in manufacturing. I've been here in the industrial area, people manufacturing cables, people manufacturing roofing sheets, people manufacturing cylinders, LPG cylinders. Everything you see needs someone to invest in manufacturing. And we must make this country, this industrial area, is full of godowns to receive manufactured products from China, from India, from wherever. We must convert those godowns to manufacturing industries. So that if it is toothpicks, why don't you manufacture them here? These bottles, we need for water. Why don't you manufacture them? This cloth, what do we need to do to make sure that it is textile produced in this country? Whether cotton, whether silk, what do we need to do? That's what you need to think as Kenyans who wants to transform this country. Am I communicating? I am very passionate about this, and I believe it is us, the young generation, who will say, you people failed us. No, I don't know whether I'm young anymore because I'm 41. I'm not young anymore. But I still have this conviction that this country must invest in manufacturing. And this is what is taking me into leadership in the national stage. So that then we can create enabling environment to be a manufacturing powerhouse. Creativity for innovation. When harnessed, we convert our nation into a manufacturing powerhouse. And that is what this country needs. Thank you very much.
A better round of applause. For those of us who aspire to be engineers, take home message that maybe you need to pick up. As universities, we should take a society as a laboratory, or in a nutshell, now that you are in academia, as a test bed, whereby it becomes a space for us who are in the academia and innovators like you to pilot our ideas so that they can be of use and impact to the society. If whatever you are doing, whether it is topology, whether it is chemistry, whether it is maybe journalism, but it has no connection, no impact to even the society which we are just close, then there is a gap. And I think that's a very important point that the engineer has actually left us. But more important, there was a question. What will this country be in 100 years to come from now? And there's an estimate of about 7 years. And I want you to imagine at that time, what impact will you have done? And to me, that's a major take home. As we digest what the IAK president has shared with us, allow me to request that we have a group photo session. And I think I'll be guided by our experts here. We will wish to have a group photo on the stage and in sessions, which I'm going to guide. I will request the chief guest and the DVC and our dean, Faculty of Engineering and Technology, to come forward and ask the organizing committee for this Innovation Week, including all the chairs and all the SGs of the clubs and societies, to come forward. We start with a group photo, including the vice chairs, if they are there. Just come and we take a group photo together with our chief guest. Then, of course, we shall have the entire photo for the Innovation Week 2026. So let's balance. So these are the leadership of our societies and clubs, even emeritus. You can come, those who have been in the executive before, you can join. We can fit, yes. Kindly join us, and even our guests. So kindly just come forward, please. And thank you for your support. For announcement, excuse me, make for me, we are taking our seats. Yes. MC. Yes, the next session. They are not. So we can go for that.
Who have participated in the photo session. Thank you so much for that. And now allow me to proceed to the next session. But I have a small question for you, okay? It's a quick one though. So why did the entrepreneur break up with a calculator? Why did the entrepreneur break up with a calculator? Any answer? Any try? Why did the entrepreneur break up with a calculator? Yes? Benjamin? Who is Benjamin? Nisaidie kupata majibu huku ndani.
Okay.
Why did the entrepreneur break up with a calculator?
Anyone?
There, over there.
I think the entrepreneur got to break up with the calculator because like calculator is something that was invented like long time ago. And if you talk about entrepreneurship, is something like you create something for yourself, like, so I don't need a calculator, like you create something for yourself, like, yeah, I think that's my view.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Any other trial? Yes, over there.
I would say because it could not work out.
Okay. Any other trial? Yes, Sakari. Benjamin, over here.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
I'm Kennedy Sakari. So the entrepreneur broke up with the calculator because the calculator was counting on everything and everyone. But the entrepreneur wanted the calculator wanted something which could count on their own. Yeah.
A round of applause for Sakari. I mean, stop being mean. A round of applause for him.
Anyone else?
No, he's gotten it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the correct answer. Also, a round of applause for all those who have participated in trying to answer. All right, now allow me to invite our keynote presenter for the day to cover the concern turning data into decisions, thus bridging technology, business, and society. She is a representative of women in technology at the Multimedia University of Kenya. A round of applause for Taiba Rajab. A round of applause until she gets on stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you all can hear me right. Okay, so my name is Taiba Rajab, and I'm a first-year student pursuing bachelor's in computer science in Multimedia University. And today I'm going to talk about turning data into decisions, bridging technology, business, and society. Okay. Now, I want you all to picture this. In 2010, there's a small taxi company that started to collect its data, where people were going, when they were going, and which method they were using to get there. And 2 years later, that company is Uber app. See, all of us here, we have used Uber app, right? Kama si Uber, tumetumia farasi or Bolt, right? So Uber did not invent cars, it did not build roads, lakini it just used data, it collected data and turned this data into business. So that's how powerful data is, collecting data and putting it into good use. And today I'm going to talk about 3 things. What it really means to turn data into decisions, how this plays out in businesses, and the part most techs don't talk about, the effect of data in the society. So this is what we're going to cover today. Now, let's begin. What is data? Who can give me a response to that? What is data? Anyone? Yeah. Data is anything that can be calculated, counted, or measured. That's data. Literally everything is data. Your name is data, your age is data, and your gender is also data. Now, how you collect this data and put it into good use, that's what's going to determine either your business will win or lose. How? Okay. We all use M-Pesa apps, right? You might think that M-Pesa app is just a mobile money app, but actually M-Pesa app collects a lot of data. Inaangalia where most transactions are happening, where few agents are there, and well, all this data collected, it helps to build the business of M-Pesa. On to the next slide. One thing is for sure, data is not information, information is not knowledge, and knowledge is not wisdom. If you have data, you do not have information, unless you manipulate that data into something useful. Then that's information. You can have information, but you do not have knowledge. And you can have knowledge, but still you're not wise. Now, we're going to talk about how data is affecting business. Most of us have streamed movies online. I'm going to take Netflix, for example. Netflix has over 260 million subscribers. All these, wote hawa, wanna stream movies. Netflix in a track where you pause, where you rewind, and movie gani utaachia at which episode. If there is a movie ambayo most people hawaimalizi, well, that tells them that maybe this movie is not interesting. So they'll do away with that. That's collecting data. They're using their data very well to improve their business. There is this movie, if some of us, it's a series actually, have watched it. It's called 13 Reasons Why. How many of us have heard of that? Well, when the original series came out, it had some very triggering scenes, some unsettling scenes in it. So most people were probably skipping these scenes in them. The people who are going through suicidal thoughts and all that. So when Netflix took its data and saw that most people are skipping this part, they took down the series and they edited those parts out. Imagine if Netflix didn't use this data. And then people would have probably said, oh, Netflix is just putting some series zenye, such kind of things. But they collected the data and they took down the movie and edited it. Aye. That's one way people can use data to help their businesses. We have another scenario where there's a teenage girl who is pregnant. Well, that's not something good. And she's hiding this pregnancy from her parents, probably doing shopping using her phone. And then this company, a maternity company for a matter of fact, sees the algorithm of her shopping patterns. She's buying baby food and stuff like that, but behind nyuma ya pazia, so that her parents don't notice. And then they send her maternity coupons. These maternity coupons, you know what I mean? Like offers on things to do with maternity. And then the parents get to see that. Maybe it's a voucher, a ticket, or something like that. So when the parents get to see that, they discover that, oh my goodness, our daughter is pregnant, without the daughter telling them. Now this company, yes, it has collected data, and they tried to use the data, but they used the data in the wrong way. So this tells us that data without judgments is a problem. Are you getting me? Netflix used its data well, ikatoa hizo scenes because most people are skipping it. But this company, Harper, it did use its data, but not in the right way. Oh, please. Now, any company, it should have 3 roles of people who are going to deal with data. The first role we have is the technologist. A technologist is anyone who deals with data. That's where data analyst, data engineer, machine learning engineer, and all those, that's where they come in. So their job in the company is to analyze data, clean and store the data, make insights on the data. That's a technologist. And then after a technologist has analyzed, cleaned, and made insights on the data is taken to a business strategist. Now, this is a person who makes decisions based on the data. So you have to make good decisions based on the data. And after a business strategist, we have a communicator. Who is a communicator? A communicator is a person who speaks the idea out of the room. Let's say we had a business meeting right here where we had all the board members. We discussed something, and well, we need a person who is going to communicate this idea to other people. When it reaches part of activities and all that, men will say, I play football in the men's football team, something like that. So when the AI recruiting tool was ready to be launched and stuff, and we had female candidates who were also applying. But remember, this model was mostly trained by men. So most of the females were automatically penalized. Ukipeleka CV, it has nothing wrong, like everything is correct. But something is wrong, like the recruiting tool, it does not recognize anything that deals with women. So we have put our data, but this data is biased because this model was not trained with both genders. So that's one effect of data. If data is trained with biasness or unfairness, then it won't be as effective as it should be. And one thing, data reflects on the past. We have a slide, this one. This was a model for face recognition. So most tech people are the Westerns. We don't have many African people in tech industry, but that's going to change soon. So as you can see here, like 77% of the iEthics researchers are from the Western countries. And there was 40 times higher facial recognition area for dark-skinned women versus light-skinned men. You get? So this is a model that is trained using most, I don't want to say white, let's say light-skinned people. So when it comes to the dark-skinned people, it has a lot of errors. You see, the number of errors for dark-skinned people is higher than those of the light-skinned. And also another thing, this model, it was very unfair in terms of most women were the ones who are having most errors than men. If you look at percentage error for women, white women is 3, and for that of men is 1. But black women is 35, and for men is 12. Because most people in the tech industries are men. So this model was not trained fairly. It used most men and it used most light-skinned women. So those are the effects of data if it's trained unfairly. I want to finish by saying that advantages of using data. Now, as I said, if data is used well in your business, it will help you boom because it helps you make good decisions. You do your research and you find out in a certain area, the number of people with diabetes is very high. where you are a retailer, you're selling maybe something sugary, packed juices. So unaona wenzako they're retreating from that area, wana supply less, lakini wewe unaona hawa ni wajinga, let me supply more to that area because hao wengine they're not supplying well. Well, those people use their data, wakaona most people hapa they don't consume this kind of products, so they retreated to avoid making losses. Main aim of business is to make profit. It's not just to produce. You have to produce to make profit. So you have to use your data well and you make good insights. That's how you get better decisions. And then we have transparency and accountability. Let's take, for example, the government. The government of Kenya always inasema data yake to the public. For example, the budget. It gives a yearly budget. I feel like it's on inatolewa June. Our yearly annual budget is mostly read on June. So this is data collected from the government. Now we, as citizens, tukiona somewhere which is not right, we can hold the president accountable. Why is the budget higher this year for something that is not useful? Like how he said he used, I don't know which amount of money for one day. There was a hosting, I guess, at the White House. Well, citizens were very angry. They hold him accountable for that. So that's another advantage of that. And I have come to the end of my presentation, and I want to say that thank you all for listening to me.
A round of applause, please. Louder. Thank you so much. So it is time for an icebreaker session, and it will be a simple game. I'm going to invite my co-host to take over that role, and we're going to play an alphabet game, and we're going to choose a topic, and then when I say any alphabet letter, you're going to say anything that falls under that topic. Now, for example, I say kitchen. C. O. Another one.
No, like
Oven.
not fruits. You're going to choose like kitchen equipment.
Yeah, by the way, yeah. But see also fruits nagaga kitchen.
But fruits will fall under nature category of plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well noted.
Yeah, so if we are focusing on kitchen, then I need us to be very active. If I say letter A, I come to you, just give me any random kitchen item. Is that okay? Yeah, and now because you've been so lenient on this side over here, I might start here, and then my MC will do with the other. Is that okay? MC tupe letter.
K.
Letter K.
Thank you.
Wewe Carlos. Letter K in the kitchen.
Knife.
Okay. Carlos alikuwa shasema. Aya, next letter.
J. Oye, Carlos.
Acha tuulize mtu hapa.
Jug.
Jug. A round of applause for him. So far ametoa majibu mawili, but that's not fair. Next letter.
C.
C.
But after a lady. Ladies in the house, man. You're sleeping.
Cup. Cup. A round of applause for her. Next letter.
F.
F. Yes, please. Fork. A fork.
Hey, another one. There are many.
Any other F from F? Yes. Letter F.
In the kitchen. Usifikirie sana.
Letter F in the kitchen.
Yes. Flask.
Yes, we have a flask. I also had another
There's
word.
another F. It is cold. I mean, come
Frying
on.
pan.
Yeah, a frying pan. Any other option under F? Yes, please. Yes, we have a fridge. Any other? Okay, we move to the next letter. Yes.
P.
Letter P. My friend over here. Letter P in the kitchen.
Pan.
Yeah, we have a pan. Yes. Letter P. Yes, here. Gamers of the year.
Pan.
Really? Can you think of another one?
Pot.
A pot, okay. Any other? Do we have any other that falls under letter P? Okay, MC, next letter.
S.
S.
Shelf.
We have a shelf, okay. Next letter. Next letter.
Okay. There
Or
are many
another
other-
S. Okay, under S.
Spoon.
A spoon, yeah. Next example.
Sahani.
It's strictly English. It's viable, but we need another one that falls under S.
Saucepan.
Yes, a saucepan. Do you have any other under S?
Yes, we do.
Yes, please. Here.
Saucer.
Yeah, we have a saucer.
There's another one. A last one.
Let me try. Yes, please.
Sausage.
Eh?
Sausage.
Sausage. Sausage tunapikia nini? Sausage is a food. We are under kitchen equipment. Yeah, thank you for trying. A round of applause for him for trying.
You guys have forgotten a sufuria. I mean,
Sufuria is, someone said, no,
Who said?
they said in English, so there was no need for translation. But it's fine.
Okay.
So we go to the next category. Which one?
T. Another
T. No, we now from kitchen, we go to another category.
animals.
Yeah, let's go to animals.
P.
Yes, here.
Pig.
A pig. Yeah, any other?
I almost said poultry. Okay.
Poultry. Poultry.
Pigeon.
Yeah, a pigeon.
Panda.
Yeah, we have a panda. Letter P over here.
Panther.
We have a panther, okay. Any other under P?
There's another one.
Okay.
Porcupine.
Yeah, a porcupine,
Python.
a python. Any other? Oh, okay.
A pig.
A pig. Okay, thank you for trying. It had already been said, that's why. Oh yeah, I've heard someone said something else over here. It has been said.
Peacock.
Yeah, a peacock. Is that all? Okay, a round of applause for trying. Now we go to the next category, classroom items. Classroom items. MC nipe letter.
W.
W. Yes, please. Yeah, we have a workbook. I've heard you say something else.
Whiteboard.
Yes, a whiteboard. Something else in a classroom that we'll find with W.
Whitewash.
Yeah, we have a whitewash. Any other? Is your hand up? Next letter.
C.
Letter C. Sakaja.
Mr. Dimple.
Mr. Dimple.
Chalk.
Yeah, we have chalk. Najua mnashangaa tumetoana wapi na Sakaja. You know, we were playing a game and he was just smiling, showing us his dimples like, you know, our so-called governor does. So it suited him. So let's go to the next. Which letter? C. We're still at C.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Harper.
Canvas.
A canvas.
Chair.
A chair.
Chalkboard.
Yes, a chalkboard.
A compass.
A compass. Any other? Yes, please.
Coloring book. Coloring book.
Yeah, we have coloring books. Yes, again over here.
Clock.
Yeah, we have a clock. A round of applause for them for just giving us examples. Next letter.
G.
Letter G. Okay, I've seen someone.
Graph book.
Yes, we have a graph book.
Graph board.
A graph board, yeah.
Galvanometer.
A galvanometer in a physics class, yeah.
Oh, I wanted to say
Okay, okay. Any other? Oh, yes, please.
Geometric set.
A geometric set. Okay.
Glock.
A Glock. Okay.
Any
What is a
other?
Glock? What is a Glock, guys? Huh? Okay, okay. So I think we can now proceed to the next category where I had asked you guys to give me 2 truths and 1 lie. Yeah, remember? We posted that. So we're going to do that randomly. Think of 2 truths and 1 lie, okay? Yeah, think about it. Example. I will always give my one example. We see sounds, we hear colors, and then 1 true statement. I am alive today. That's true, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna start here because you've asked the question. So if you like, yeah, are more elaborated on. So give us 2 truths and 1 lie.
One truth, eh? One term.
Okay.
2 lies now, eh? One lie. Okay.
Okay, that's a premonition. What if it backfires? Yeah? It has to be factual though. Yeah? Okay, that's a good try. Hapa. Chopi wetu.
Ukweli
Yeah.
moja. Ukweli moja ni ukweli moja. Nitakuwa na Audi by 2030.
Okay, 1 truth is he will have an Audi by 2030. A round of applause for him. Msikuwe na wivu, si kila mtu atakuwa maskini. Okay, 1 lie.
One lie. I'm tall.
Oh yeah, he's short. He's vertically impaired. A round of applause for him. So you go to the next one. 1 truth, 1 lie, okay? So we're going to start here.
1 truth. I am a girl.
Yeah, she's a girl, that's true.
1 lie. I love acting.
Okay, 1 lie is that she loves acting. A round of applause for her. So I also need you to give me examples that are quite relatable, something that you all know of, yeah? So I want you to, maybe we know, is it the earth that goes around the sun or is it the sun that goes around the earth? Either of the two. You can decide to lie to us or tell us the truth, yeah? So something like that. So let me come here. Give us one truth and one lie, please.
Hey. Let me. One truth. I can see light. Like I can see light.
Oh yeah, we can see light, okay? That's a truth.
One lie. Hey, lie. Nitawadanganyaje? One lie, one lie. Hey. One lie is niambia one lie ni yes.
One lie.
One lie. I'm short. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Maybe pass the mic to huyo msee anaongea. Shine.
One truth.
Two truths, one lie.
Ukweli mbili.
Yeah.
So ukweli moja ni I'm tall.
Okay.
Ukweli ya pili mimi ni dark skin.
Okay.
Alafu uongo ya kwanza mimi ni light skin.
Ebu guys, let's think a little bit deeper. Like vitu zenye zina confuse. For example. Okay. Ebu mic.
The journey to the moon and back takes 11 days.
That is true.
That is true. Mm-hmm. The sky is the reflection of the sea.
I know about that. Ebu you guys mo confirm.
That's a lie.
Okay, another truth.
A goldfish has a memory of less than 5 seconds. Google.
ChatGPT. Yeah. So any other person?
Who else want to try? Yes.
Ukweli moja ni the largest freshwater river is in the sky. Hiyo ni ukweli.
Ebu explain.
Alafu-
Siradi.
One lie. Can we see light?
Ebu explain before songe tu. Ebu explain ati one river blah blah blah.
Oh, hiyo ya the largest freshwater river. So moisture ikienda huko juu ina condense inaingia kuna kitu inaitwa wind stream hapo sasa ina move in the sky hadi Antarctica from kila part ya dunia. Ndio maana kuna deposit ya nini huko sana than hapa.
Okay.
Mnaweza tu siji ku explain but ukigoogle utajua.
It makes sense.
A round of applause for our scientists. Anyone who has been left out? Yeah, we have someone over there.
I have one truth. Nairobi City is the only city in the world that has the national park. Yeah. And also, no object on Earth has the same speed as the Earth revolves around the sun. The lie is Mount Kenya is taller than Mount Kilimanjaro.
A round of applause for him, please. In those who are not clapping, student wakumbusha mara ngapi. We said we don't need to be jealous of others. Umeshindwa kuongea, he's been able to speak. Stop being jealous, yeah? He will help you one day. So a round of applause for him again. Thank you. That's better.
As we transition to another session, I just want to ask you something simple. You guys heard engineer akiongea hapa sana. I hope yuko. He was saying he wants to vie for the position of an MP. But before that, he ranted about a lot of things. So I need a gent and a lady to tell me what they got from that speech. Anything, anything. But isikuwe ati your universities should use society as a laboratory, please. Anyone? I'll be forced to choose at random. Kama kuna msatinua mkono.
Bado mkilodio swali ya. Sorry for the interruption. Lakini, I would like to invite the photo session before we proceed, okay? As you can see, our speakers for the day are already here and they have requested for it. A round of applause as they get on stage.
Continue preparing your answers. I might choose more.
A round of applause for them as they get off stage. Over to my MC.
There was a lady who raised her hand. There was a lady here.
He insisted on how we should invest innovation and everything on agriculture, because agriculture, we need food, and like it will be like that for the rest of the years. Yeah.
A round of applause for her. Any other? Need a gent. I mean, come on, man. A gent. Nachagua. A gent. There was some light skin dude here. Okay, anyone? Anyone? Anyone?
Ilan is much developing since maybe it's the high rate of innovation rate. The rate of innovation is much higher compared to other countries.
A round of applause, please. Any other? A lady or a gent?
He talked about how the China manages to beat the West. For instance, he talked about the situation where Cloud released Opus 4.7, OpenAI GPT 5.5, and then DeepSeek released version 4 with 1/10 price half, making it affordable.
Hey, sharp. A round of applause. Hey, gents, manze, mnaniangusha juu. Mnaniangusha. Any gentleman? Any gentleman? You guys mko medozi nyinyi wote. I mean, come on, man. Nako kuna ideas. Any?
So he also talked about venturing into manufacturing and mining, whereby he said in Kenya we have lots of resources such as I heard of coal, I heard of 9 trillion something at the coast or something, yeah. And he also talked of us like starting like our own instead of assembling, like buying, importing, manufacturing products. We should build our own. And and also he said the main thing that I got from his talk is that you don't become rich or wealthy from employment. It comes from innovation, like creating your own thing and brand. Yep.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for him. So, like, what he was to expound on what he has said is we should not downplay the potential that we have. We have the brains, and we are not only doing this just for a piece of paper and to look for employment, but we should actually use the knowledge we've gotten to bring solutions to the society. Yeah, any other person? Any other person who wants to shine? Any other person? Any other person? Okay. Okay, now we're moving to the next session where co-lead.
Now, allow me to invite, first of all, a round of applause for yourselves for being so attentive and participative. So next on stage, we have the Innovation Week co-lead and the chairperson for the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers, and his name is Boniface Ochieng. A round of applause as he comes on stage.
Louder, please. Louder. Okay, so guys, please prepare your notebooks. This session will be a very short one. And after that, we're going to have lunch. And yeah, you can network and probably come umeona msupa manzi. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to the speaker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon once again. Yeah, so like I said previously, my name is Boniface Ochieng. I am a final year student here at MMU, taking electrical and telecommunications engineering. I also currently volunteer as the chairperson for IEEE MMU student branch. So IEEE simply stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So I'm going to be talking about it as an organization, okay? So that you can be able to understand the opportunities that are there for IEEE student members, and how you as a student can benefit from the opportunities that are there within IEEE, okay? Okay, now getting straight into it, talking about now innovation, because we are talking about an innovation week here. So I want to engage with you guys on how you as students and also as IEEE brings about innovation in campus and also in Kenya, in the national level and also in the global level. So as you can see, IEEE is really a big force when it comes to innovation. I think for the people who've interacted with maybe technology stuff, engineering stuff, you've actually come across the term IEEE. And I think most of the time you engage with IEEE as a standards organization, like an organization that actually develops the standards we use to enable things work within the technology field and the engineering fields. Because, for example, even the Wi-Fi we are using right now is an IEEE standard, okay? So IEEE is majorly known for the standards, but now I'm going to be talking about it in terms of as an organization that is student-based so that you can understand the things that are there within. Okay, so IEEE right now, as you can see from the slides, so we have around 500,000 plus members worldwide. So, and we have around 39 technical societies and it is represented within 160 plus countries. So when I talk about the technical societies within IEEE, what do I mean? So as you can see from the banners that are represented here, like from my right, you can see we have IEEE Photonic Society. We do have IEEE Microwave Theory and Technology Society. We also have the IEEE Census Council. We have the IEEE Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology. We also have the IEEE Industry Application Society. So why am I talking about these societies? Because I believe that when I've introduced IEEE, you've actually heard me talk about it being referred to as the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, but it's not only for electrical engineers, okay? So normally how we try to bridge this gap, we normally say that IEEE is the Institute of Engineers and everyone else, okay? Because we do have people who are in the technology field, we have people who are in the science field, and they are part of IEEE. We also have people who are in the medicine field because we have a society called the Engineering and Biomedical Engineering Society, where we have people who are into medicine or such kinds of stuff. So we also have, in MMU, we have around seven societies. So we have the IEEE Power and Energy Society for the people in power systems. We have the IEEE Computer Society for the people in the CIT faculty. We also have things like the Photonics, which is for the people in electrical engineering and also for the people in optics. We also have the IEEE WIE, so that's the women in engineering. And we also have, which one is this that I'm forgetting? We have the IEEE Industry Application Society. So that one moves across the whole field because it's industry-based. And we also have the Census Council, which deals with matters to do with the sensors, IoT, embedded systems. For the people who are interested in that, that is your group. And finally, we also have, which one am I forgetting? We have SITE. So that's the Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology. So this one is for everyone because what it means is when you have an humanitarian project, like right now we have around 2 of them that we're running within MMU. So we have one that we are doing in Narok. It's an initiative where we are trying to build, we are trying to mentor these girls. It's a place where girls are rescued from things like FGM and early marriages. So we are building like a system for them. So we are building, because their dormitories, they actually didn't have a lot of power. So we went ahead and we are installing solar panels for them. And we are also providing a smart fence for them as well. So that's some of the initiative that SITE does. So it's more about humanitarian technology, where you are given funding, and then from this funding, you're able to do projects, okay? Yeah, so those are some of the societies we have within MMU. I think the chairs, some of them are here. So you can just interact with them and then get to see how you can be involved. Yes, next slide. So the benefits of membership within IEEE. So like I said, IEEE is like the world's largest technical organization that is tailored towards advancing technology for humanity, okay? So as you can see, we have technical information and research. So when you are an IEEE member, you get to access a lot of research online. We have something called the IEEE Explore. So IEEE Explore actually it's a database where all published papers, journals, they are published there. So maybe if you're doing your research on something, you can be able to access that website and get your research material from there. And then connect with the professional with valuable networking opportunities. And one of them is right here. So when you have events such as this, we normally have industry professionals. And then you can be able to network with these people, get to understand what is happening within the industry. And also you as a student, you also get to understand how you can benefit from that as well. And then we have education resources, local activities such as this. discounts on IEEE products and other services. And then because, for example, we have something called the e-learning platform for IEEE, where they offer courses, okay? So from these courses, if you are an IEEE member, you can be able to get some good discounts that can enable you to get certified, I mean, when you actually do these kinds of courses. And then find ways to contribute to the community, like I said, the humanitarian projects that we are doing, and then tailored benefits by joining an IEEE society. Yeah, I think I've talked about this, the IEEE Explore, which is just where we have the journals, we have the papers and all. We have the Author Center, the IEEE TV, we have the Spectrum magazine. So they normally send magazines, by the way, based on the research that has been done by the professionals themselves. We have the Learning Network, we have the ebook classics, the societies and the technical councils, the proceedings, the conferences. IEEE has around around 2,000 conferences every year. And if you're an IEEE student member and you actually, maybe you're doing your research on something and you get to write a paper on it, you can be able to receive travel grants to be able to go present that paper in a specific conference. Yeah, like we've had members of MMU, by the way, who've gone to present their papers in certain conferences across the world, okay? And then we also have, yes, we have, where are we? Wafanya Spectrum, yeah. Then we have, actually, let me talk about Dataport. Yeah, so Dataport, IEEE Dataport is a database where for the people who are doing things to do with where you need, maybe you're trying to train a machine learning, an ML model, okay? So if you don't have data for that training, you can be able to get some of that within IEEE Dataport. So it's a platform where people actually upload the data that they've worked with. And then you as a student, if you're trying to work on something and you find it difficult in getting these kinds of data that you want to train your model with, you can be able to do that with IEEE Dataport, okay? Yeah, so as you can see, IEEE has a lot of, can proceed to the next one. Talked about conferences, IEEE Collaboratech. So IEEE Collaboratech is just like, how many people are on LinkedIn? Yeah, so IEEE Collaboratech is just like LinkedIn, but now for IEEE members. Okay. Now, the reason why that platform was built is to enable you to interact with your professors or maybe someone you're doing research with easily, because in LinkedIn is very flooded. It has people from across all the professions. So within IEEE Collaboratech, you can be able to do something, or maybe when you post an article, someone who's interested in that can actually reach out and tell you that what you're doing is really nice, and maybe I'm also working on something similar. Maybe we can see ways in which we can collaborate and also do something. I've had students who've actually gotten some of the professors from abroad who've actually enabled them to do their projects, and they've given them funding to also go abroad and also do something. And they've also been able to get like internships in other countries so that they can be able to continue with their research. Then we also have volunteering opportunities, like myself. I'm volunteering as the chair for the student branch here. You can also volunteer at the Kenya section level, and you can also volunteer at the global level. We have local meetings and events, societies, WIE, that's Women in Engineering, and then young professionals. Young professionals is simply someone who has graduated and now is new in the field. Like, for example, when I graduate, now I cease from being a student member. I now become a young professional, okay? Yeah, next one. I think I've talked about almost all of them. Next slide, societies. Yeah, so as you can see, those are the lists. As you can see, the list is very detailed. I don't know if you can read, but let me just go through them first. So we have the Aerospace and Electronic Systems Society for the people in aeronautical engineering, the Aerospace Sciences, that is your society. We have the Antenna and Propagation Society for the people in telecommunications like myself. So that's a very nice society to be part of. We have the Broadcast Technology Society. We have the Circuits and Systems. We have the Communication Society. We have the Computational and Intelligence Society for the people in tech who are doing things to be intelligence, artificial intelligence, neural networks. That is your place. And then people who are in Control System Society, we also have your society there. We have the IEEE Education Society, the Electromagnetic and Compatibility Society, the Electron Devices. Yeah, there are very many. So if you just go to the website, IEEE.org, you can be able to access all these societies and get to understand where you as a student, you can fit in. Yeah, next one. Yeah, we also have technical councils. So apart from, we have societies and we also have technical councils. So societies are just they are tailored towards a certain profession, I mean. Then the technical councils now brings together multiple societies so that they can be able to work together. Like, for example, we have the Census Council, as you can see there. So it has around, I don't know the number of societies it has, but it has very many societies because nowadays almost everything has sensors within them. So IEEE Sensors Council actually enables you guys to understand how these devices are built, the kind of programming that is done on them, the firmware design and everything about that. Yeah, can proceed to the next one. Collaboratech, I've talked about that one. IEEE conferences, like I said, we have, like you can see, our IEEE sponsors more than 1,600 annual technical conferences. And then when you're presenting your paper gets published. So I think for the people who maybe you're trying to do your, you're doing your undergraduate right now. So maybe if you plan to proceed towards higher level of learning, like for example, your master's, your PhD, there are several requirements that are normally there. Like for example, you have to actually have published a paper. But if you get to publish a paper as an undergraduate student, it actually boosts your chances of this. So yeah, they also have the Explore. So I talked about the Explore as the digital library for IEEE. The educational programs, yes, next one. Yeah, we also have that one, the IEEE Learning Network. So here is where you can access all the courses in tech and engineering. So as you can see, we have over 190 courses in cloud computing, 5G technology, software engineering, smart grids, ethical hacking, 3D printing, cybersecurity, and vehicle technology. So as you can see, it cuts across. These are just some of the courses that are there, but there are very many courses that you can access within IEEE so that you can be able to boost your skills and also get certified as well. Yeah, next one. Now we have the pre-university STEM education resources. So this one are normally supported by various organizations. So we have the IEEE Tri-Engineering, we have the IEEE Reach, and those are the main platforms that we use for these kinds of initiatives. And currently, as I'm speaking to you right now, we have a member who's in Samburu. They are doing something to do with STEM-related activities. So they are actually just mentoring pre-university students. So pre-university students are just people in high school, primary. We normally have something called the K-12 initiatives. So K-12 is just kindergarten to grade 12. So we normally have people who we send out and they go ahead and just mentor these kids and also just provide some STEM knowledge into them so that they can be able to choose these courses as they proceed to the university. So those are some of the platforms that we have again. The education resources as well, there are some of them that are there. Next one. The job site, yes. IEEE also contains some jobs remotely that you can do remotely. So if you are actually skilled, for example, you do data science, you do some good software engineering, you can be able to browse for some jobs here. And then if maybe your skills match what the recruiter wants, you can be able to get a remote job where you can be able to do something. Next one. The mentoring program. So that one is just, you can be able to join this community where you can be able to be, for example, like I talked about the tri-engineering opportunities. So if you're part of the mentoring program, you can be able to be selected and then you'll be part of a mentoring team that will be now taking part in these initiatives that we have. Next one. Yes, we also have the member resources that are available. So we have the IEEE Foundation. So that one just supports programs. For example, if you have like an event like this one, they can be able to provide funding that can be able to sponsor the whole event in terms of everything. So yeah, they provide funding for such and also for humanitarian projects as well. They also provide support for that. For EPICS in IEEE, so that's what I was talking about, the two projects we are doing. So those two projects, they were funded by IEEE, EPICS in IEEE. The one I talked about, the one we are doing in Narok, and the other one we are doing in Homa Bay. Yeah, so the one in Homa Bay, we are actually deploying a smart farm system for farmers there. So we are building the system ourselves and then we are going to deploy it in their farms. So as you can see, it's really nice for students because you get to upskill yourself and you also get to provide something for the community to use. So if you're part of EPICS in IEEE, you get to do a lot of cool stuff sometimes because most of the things you just learn online. But now when you as a student get to engage yourself in these things in the real world, now you get to understand the challenges and also the benefits that come with deploying such systems to the community. And then we have the IEEE Smart Village as well. So that one is also just an humanitarian initiative where we try to boost maybe things to do with the network, power coverage in the community, in the marginalized, let me say, rural areas. Yeah, so that's IEEE Smart Village. We have the IEEE site, so that's there, the special interest group on humanitarian technology, and we also have the IEEE ETECH. So that one is just a honor society for IEEE. Yeah, the next one, the foundation. We talked about that one. Next, the IEEE Humanitarian Activities Committee as well. That's just where site falls. So they normally just do humanitarian activities. Next. Site as well. Next. Next. Smart Village. Okay. Epics. Let me. Okay. Yeah, you can stay there for a while. The epics. Yes. So I talked about epics, and I've said that we have 2 projects that are running. So we have the benefits that actually epics brings into IEEE. We have the workforce development. Okay. Like I gave an example of students, because these projects, when you're given funding for these projects, you are the students are the people who are supposed to deploy that project. You're not supposed to get external sources to do that project. So in the process of doing this, you're going to see that you're going to upskill, you're going to maybe gain skills on this, because lazima ukwe site, si ndio? Lazima uingie mjengo, kama kuna mjengo iko involved, you have to be part of that as students, because they normally do this to enable the students to be trained well and also be able to do things by themselves. And then we have the professional skills as well, the non-profit support, because you're doing this as an humanitarian activity. So you don't gain anything from it in terms of money, but you gain something from it in terms of the satisfactory that comes when you do actually something like a project and it's deployed and it's working and everything. And then advancing the STEM as well. Next. Career and professional development resources as well. So like I said, I think I've talked about this in almost everything that I've been saying. And then we have the student competitions. So these are just competitions that are based for the students, so that you can be able to compete with people globally, so that you can be able to also see where yourself, you as a student, where you fall. Because sometimes you might be, unaweza kuwa unajichocha man, ati nimeivia maybe C++, but when you get to these kinds of competition, that's when you know that you don't know anything, right? Like for example, we have the IEEE Extreme. So this one is a global competition that happens yearly. It normally happens around October. So we normally have a team of students come together, and then you're given challenges every hour. So it's a 24-hour hackathon. So you start at around 3 a.m. and then you end the following day 3 a.m. So just imagine for a whole 24 hours, you're just on your laptop and you're receiving challenges every hour. So after every hour, you receive a new challenge, and it's happening globally. Wa China bana, China wana code. You see bado we are still tunajaribu, but hatujafikia hapo bado, but we are getting there. And then we have the IEEE ComSoc student competition. So for communication society, these are the people now who are dealing with networking. So for example, you are in IT, you're trying to venture into the networking field. You can be able to, they are normally design challenges where you are told to design a certain network. So you can be able to actually benefit from that. And as you can see, the winner gets around 2,500 USD. So they are normally very good prices in these competitions. Sometimes you're given a travel grant to attend a conference. They can even fund your research sometimes. You can also receive scholarships for that as well. And then we have the APS, that's the Antenna Propagation Society Student Design Challenge. Also that one just focuses on designing antenna systems. We have the IEEE IES Inter-Student Band Chapter Competition. That's the IES is the Industrial Electronics Society. And then we have the IEEE TEMS as well. We have the CAS Student Design Competition. We have someone from MMU who actually won the CAS Student Design Competition at the Region 8 level. So as IEEE, it's divided into regions. So we have Region 1 to Region 10. So us as Kenyans, we fall under Region 8. And Region 8 comprises of Africa, Middle East, and Europe. And this student was #1 in all those continents. And they got to present their project in Singapore. So as you can see, it encourages students to design and build projects in fields of circuits and systems. So if you're having a project, they normally happen on an annual basis. So last year they were held in, I think it was in London. We had a team from Kenya as well who were to present their project there. This year, I don't know where it's held this year. I think it's in China also, if I'm not wrong. So that's where these competitions are held, and then the finalists, they get to now go and present their projects there. And then we have the IEEE SPS VIP and the Speak Up. So SPS is the Signal Processing Society. And then we have the IEEE Student Ethics Competition. We are planning to have something similar to that this year. We had that in 2024. Yeah, it was held in KU, where we had people it's normally ethics, just ethics in technology and engineering, how you as a student can promote ethics. You get to pitch an idea, and then from that idea you can be able, they have judges, and then judges evaluate you guys, and then the top pitchers of these ideas, they received some good award. And then the student branch website contest and the IEEE ESIS 12 competition. We also had a beneficiary who attended the competition last year in Malaysia. So they got to present their project because it normally starts at the local level. So we start in Kenya and then we proceed to the region 8 level. And then from the region 8 level, we move to the global level. So they presented their project at the local level because we had the competition in Rwanda. So we went to them to Rwanda and then they got to present their project and then they won and then they now proceeded to Malaysia for the final presentation. So as you can see, the student competitions, there are very many. These are just a few that I've mentioned, but there are very many. So you as a student can be able to engage yourself in this and then get to present projects because they make you to be very active. They provide certifications, they provide recognitions and all those kinds of stuff. Yes, now the part where most people like seeing, so the travel grants. So travel grants, they are just, you receive funding as a student to attend a conference. So we have very many travel grants. So as you can see, these are just a few that I've managed to get, but there are very many. So when you become an IEEE student member and you become an active one, and you get to write papers, present projects, design posters and everything, you can be presenting them towards these conferences. Like I said, we have around 1,600 plus conferences. Those are so many conferences that you can imagine, like maybe in a day, like we have how many conferences running today within IEEE. There are so many. So you can be able to present your research material there, and then once it's accepted, and you apply for the travel grants, you can be able to get some of them, and then they fund the whole thing. They fund your hotel, they fund your transport, they also fund your registration for the conference. Where utakuwa tu unaenda kupresent, they cover everything. So these are just some of them. We have the IEEE Symposium on Security and Privacy. So for the people in cybersecurity, that's something you can look at. And then we have the IEEE RAS, SPIRSE. So RAS is the Robotics and Automation Society. So for the people who are into training such, that's also a good opportunity for you. And then the IEEE CAS, Student Travel Grant. So CAS is the Circuits and Systems Society. And then we have the IEEE CIS Travel Grant. That's the Computational Intelligence Society. We have the IEEE CEDA. So that's the council. That's also a technical council. So that's the Council on Electron Device Automation, I guess. Yes. And then WIE. So for the women in the house, that's you can get some of the travel grants there. That's women in engineering. We have the IEEE VCF travel grants as well. So if you maybe you have a proposal, not a proposal, you have a project or you have a paper that you're presenting in a certain conference, you can be able to also get some funding from IEEE VCF. That's the voluntary contribution fund. So they'll be able to give you funding to attend those kinds of conference. And then how many people know Kenneth? The Kenneth platform. I think we also use it for our online learning. Because wanafanyanga classes online. Simesikia about Kenneth. They also provide travel grants, by the way. So if you have a research material that you've actually maybe submitted towards a certain conference and you don't have funding to attend the conference, you can write to them and they can be able to provide you with all the support you need. Yeah, so then we have IEEE APS, the Antenna Propagation Society, and the IEEE VTS, which is the Vehicular Technology Society. Yes. There are very many conferences that you can just go to the website and then just search student travel grants, and then you can be able to list them down, then get to see which one you can benefit from. Next one. Yes, I think that's it for my presentation. And as you can see, the motto for IEEE is advancing technology for humanity. Okay. So another thing that I'd like to add that I've not included in the slides, I think it was 2024 or 2025, not so sure. So we actually had an MOU as IEEE Kenya section with Oracle. So one of the things that actually came with this memorandum of understanding is that you as an IEEE member, because you know that Oracle does some certifications in there. So if you're a student member and an IEEE student member, and you are maybe focused on things to do with database systems, you are interested in things to do with cloud computing, as an IEEE member, you get those resources for free. You can be able to log on to their website, and then you'll be able to access, like for example, right now, there's the one for cloud infrastructure. So they are teaching, you get to get that course, and then you take it. And then after doing it, you get your certification. So it's free for IEEE student members. That's something we signed and it's agreed upon. Also, I talked about data port for the IEEE student members. If you're trying to train your model and you'd lack the data for that, always access the IEEE data port platform for all your data needs. Yeah, so I think that's it for me. Thank you very much for listening. Unless we have any questions. Anyone with questions before I hand it over to the MC? Yes, thank you very much for your time. Yes, thank you.
So thank you so much for that insightful moment. How many of us have gotten to learn something? Have you learned something? Okay. Has the small summit met your expectations? Fully or partially? How many for partially? Okay. How many for fully? Okay. So for the event organizers, you can see the response that we have here, and we need to do better for the next 2 days. And I will do my part to make sure you have the best experience, the best interaction where possible. Now, allow me to invite a Google Career Impact who works with Google Developers Group, who is going to handle Google Cloud alongside other Google products. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to invite Fiona Mbithe on stage for her presentation. A round of applause for her as she gets on stage. Please, can you continue applauding her? Okay, our gentleman here, can you please come and move this at the middle, kindly? Msongesheni tu.
Okay, so hi everyone. Good evening. So my name is Fiona and I'd like to start with a question. So how many of you today have used a Google product? Like tangu amke, umetumia like a Google product. Maybe ume search on YouTube, ume angalia email, Gmail. Yeah, so you see, ama maybe ukikuja ulipotea, kabidi umetumia Google Maps. Yeah, so okay, so what if I told you guys that instead of being the users for Google products, you can also be the people who are deploying Google products. And this is not from out of your pocket. This is something they provide for us as students. You can be able to launch your own things and using resources that they provide for us. And that's why I'm here. I represent Google. I am a Google Developers Group Lead for MMU. And yes, so if you do not know Google Developers Group, which is GDG, it's a students-led initiative, I guess, like any other club, but now it's backed and supported by Google in terms of resources and support in terms of industry experts, vitu kaa hizo. Yeah, so maybe you're asking yourself, how, from the question that I asked, how can you be able to develop these products? How can you be able to deploy a website in probably a day? right? Bila backend, bila sijui all that database thing is, how can you be able to do that? So Google has this technology called Flutter. Flutter uses Google frameworks to build an app, mobile application, web application using a single code base. We also have Google Firebase, which handles database authentication and more so that you can build and roll and launch real app application without needing any complex backend setup. Actually, this Firebase is what I'm using currently for my project. Oh, I didn't mention I'm a third year student in IT. I do IT, and now we are currently having our project. So we are currently using. Okay, my project is for facial recognition, and for that you need like a database where you put your, like, let's say where you feed the facial recognition systems. So we're using Firebase, where it's, so we uploaded the data to Firebase, and that's what we're using to run our backend. Yeah, and maybe you're in AI, and maybe you have already built maybe like a website, and you are wondering how you can integrate AI into it. So there's something called Gemini API, which you can use, maybe AI agents still from Google, or Vertex AI, which is still from Google, that you can use to integrate AI into your website. Yes. And another thing we also have is Google certificates, which are on Coursera. And the good thing about this is they are internationally recognized in terms of, Google is a big platform. Like, it's internationally recognized. So if you have a certificate from Google, you have a stronger advantage in the job market. Yes. Yes. That's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that. A round of applause for her again as she gets on stage. Unfortunately, that is the closure of our session. She has been our last speaker for the day. And I would like you to applaud yourselves for being so cooperative. A round of applause for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. In about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you'll be out to have lunch. I don't know whether it has already been delivered, but I said, remember, connections and networks are made at the buffet, because when you are hungry, that's when you are loyal to your stomach, because you want to fill it and you want to talk. When people are hungry, I mean, they do talk a lot. Utapata mtu tu anakuambia edi tushida twake, ni njaa inamsumbua, but at least use it for your benefit, yeah? So thank you for being so cooperative. I've really enjoyed the whole of the session, despite the shortcomings. I've been your host for the day. My name is Miranda, and I will ask you to applaud me for the good work I've done for you. A round of applause for me, please. Thank you. I'll leave the rest of the session to my co-MC here.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being such an engaging congregation, crowd. Thank you so much. My name is Benjamin Yamari. I am a journalism student, third year. So we're here to get directions whether food has arrived, but there is food enough for everyone. So send to buy food na bado food iko. And also as we wait, DJ, we need some songs, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so probably unaweza kuwa umeona some shares and you wanna you know what I'm saying? And you do your thing. I mean, this is the time. So as we wait for more directions, I will update you as we proceed. Yeah. Thank you so much.
What to expect tomorrow? Is that okay? So that when you come here, you have a clue, you have a rough idea or what you're going to be fed. Basically, not food, but knowledge. You know, they say knowledge is power. And also, when you get the power, it depends with how you use it, yeah? So I've heard someone say, uongo, venye nimesema knowledge is power. I would like you to justify your point.
Thank you. My name is Munene MK. Sadly, I'm not an innovator. Knowledge is not power. This is what I mean. Relax. In our very good school, we have a library. It's full of books, knowledge. Most people, I would say, in a learning institution like these ones, like our lecturers, they are very knowledgeable. But knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge is power. When you apply that knowledge, everything they are doing here, that will give them the power. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And to remind you, when I started, I said they say. I never said Miranda said. Okay? No, didn't I? I did. That's what I said. They say. I never said I say. Yeah? Anyway, a round of applause again for him. Okay, now for tomorrow, you are expected to be here from 8 a.m. to approximately 10 p.m. So your arrival time or duration is roughly 1 hour from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. That's arrival and networking. So that's when you get into the room and then you start, you know, connecting with some new faces you've seen, pitching your priorities of interest and all that. Then you have from 9:10 to 10:10 a.m. That's 1 hour. We'll have morning keynote from various presenters. Then panel discussions will follow later. And then the tea break from 11:10. Then workshops. So we'll have track 1 to track 4, whereby we'll have the breakout sessions. Each track has an area of concern. And then we have from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., that's 2 hours. We have project exhibition and presentations, whereby students and teams will showcase their innovations. And then from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m., we'll just like, you know, wrap up the event. And then some of us might go home hungry, others full. It depends with how the day shall be, because the turnout for tomorrow must actually be great, if not roughly better than today. And I'll ask you to tag a friend along, because if really this session has been of impact to you, I feel like there's a need for you to tag a friend, right? Yeah, don't benefit alone. Okay? So thank you for that. The ashes in the room, is the food ready? Is the food ready? Not yet. Yeah? Audi? Or a Kahoot? Who is leading the Kahoot? Yvonne? Bonnie? Okay, Boniface? Ni wewe ama ni huyo? Okay, so I've been told of a Kahoot, so I'll hand over to Bonnie. A round of applause for Bonnie as he comes forward. Hutaki? Sasa Bonnie hajamaliza kujitayarisha, mnataka kufanya nini? Ngoma. DJ Ayuko. Yes, please. Yeah, come forward. A round of applause for this young man.
Okay, good afternoon. This is actually more of an announcement than it is bringing the audience back to life. The audience has been really quiet. So I'm the incoming chair of IEEE IAS, and we've been organizing. I'm Dennis Rono, by the way, sorry for that. I'm Dennis Rono. I'm an student, electrical and telecommunications engineering. And I'm the incoming chairperson of IEEE Industry Application Society. And before we leave, because I'd hate to see you leave without this information, tomorrow there's IAS has prepared a webinar that will really benefit 3 main categories. it will still benefit all of us for those curious. And these other three. That is, the webinar will be, it's called Engineering High Density Power Systems for 2026 Data Centers. That is encompassing electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, and people curious about data centers. Those are people in computer society. And the topics that will be covered is ultra high density distribution challenges. As we know, the world is really revolving around AI at the moment, and that scaling into AI is really is giving a great demand for power. Those AI companies, they are trying to scale to deliver more power to themselves, to provide services to the users. So ultra high density distribution challenges, that will be people in electrical engineers, will also be looking at thermal electrical integration, air cooling versus liquid cooling. This is where the mechanical engineers come in. If you're a mechanical engineer and you're really curious about matters, thermodynamics, cooling, all that, please, you'll join us in that meeting. And finally, grid resilience and power quality for AI loads. Yeah, those are the three topics that will be covered. And the poster will be circulated. It will be in all the groups. I'll make sure of that. So if you're in the position, it's only an hour long. All these topics will be covered to really entice any curious person. It will only be an hour long, very compact. So tomorrow, that's Wednesday. Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you have that time, please join in. There's a registration link and the link to the meeting that will be shared. I'd love to see you all there. Have a good evening. Have a good afternoon.
Ebu irom klape kijana. So Boniface, are you ready? Bado. Okay. So do we have someone who is quick to innovate something, maybe a dance? Someone who is quick, a simple dance for everyone. Who is quick? Nitakuchagua. Nitakuchoose. Who is quick to create something for us? Yes, nimekuona hapo. Please kuja. Yeah, you smile wide out. I can see you. You're leaning at the front to the guy in a red black cape. Kindly come forward. Kindly come forward, please. Yeah, you see the way you're smiling? Just come smiling. Kuja tu. Anaitwa Joe kijana. Eh? Please come to the front. Come. Yes, you. So which song do you want to teach us to dance? Any. You can. Okay. So yes, you can, because I've seen you dance, so you can. Everything is possible when you believe in yourself. Yes. Am I lying? Exactly. So please stand here. DJ, atacheza wimbo gani? Siaka. Chagua wimbo. Chagua wimbo. Or nominate someone and choose for them a song to do it. Nani?
Yo. Bro, so come pige, eh? Wait. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a light skin who has been nominated. So kindly come forward. Actually, it's the only light skin in this row. Nadanganya? Male. Si ni ukweli? Ebu angalia tu. Anajua kudance? Okay. So the guy in a gray half cape, kindly come forward. You've been nominated by 6 people. Wameinua tu mkono wananionyesha wewe. Wanasema unajua kudance. Mbona unakataa? Mbona una shy? Kuwa tu na confidence. Imagine this is your day to shine. Usikatae. Leo ndo utatrend. Usikatae. Mbona unakataa? Anyway, guys, as we wait for our Kahoot session, I think it has actually come to be. Boni ashamaliza kujitayarisha. So guys, give me your attention, okay? And divert it to Boni over here. Boni, are you ready? Okay.
and these small clubs also get the bus. Sindio? So at least let all clubs have an equal chance of having the school bus, so that when they want to go out, you go there, send your letter priorly, and then you get the bus. Sindio? So that one will be favorable for you guys. Yeah, then finally, I want to thank you for turning out. I believe all these seats are occupied. Sindio? Ama the empty seats. Yeah, they're occupied. So an appreciation for you turning out, and where we can assist as the executive of the institution, we're going to assist you guys. All these clubs which are here, we're also part of them, and we're also beneficiaries of these clubs. These clubs made us, personally I can say, made me to be the person I am today. So don't shy away from joining the clubs. Don't shy away from participating in activities of the club. Don't shy away from being leaders or taking part in major activities of the club. So stay focused, stay guided. Naona watu wana concentrate kwa Kahoot, acha nimalize. So continue the same spirit. Innovation Week imeanza na itaendelea kukua hivyo, ikiendelea kupanda tempo mpaka itafika mahali watu watasema ati other institutions will also say that sisi tunaenda to multimedia for the Innovation Week. Sindio? Yeah, na ndio ifika hiyo point, sisi tutasaidia pia tunaweza. Acha mimi pia nikae chini nicheze hii Kahoot.
A round of applause for our president. So amesema story za ku rent Nganya zitaisha. Ametu promise. Because some of us went to their destination with some very embarrassing Nganyas, yet they were going to represent the school somewhere. So I hope he keeps up to his promise. All of you are witnesses, aren't we? Yeah, so we look forward to that, Bwana President. Thank you. Have a lovely Kahoot session.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. So we just want to play a small game here. So based on the, there are just some small simple questions based on what we've discussed today, and also some general questions. So you can log in to inakwanga ni it's kahoot.it. Yes, kahoot.it, and then you're going to type that game pin over there, and then you're going to join. You're going to select your name, and then you join. So you can proceed and do that. You can also be in teams. So that tukutuone akina nani wanajua hizi vitu. So it's going to be simple questions, tech questions, engineering questions, general questions. Yeah, very easy questions. So, and you're going to have top 3 people being recognized. So you can continue joining, and then once we have like the official number, we can start. So how the game works, I think for the people who have not interacted with Kahoot, so the game is just questions, okay? So you're going to be seeing questions being displayed over there, and then we are going to have the answers. We're going to provide the answers. So msijali, hakuna kufikiria. We are going to provide the answers, multiple choice questions. So the answers are going to be in form of colors. So on your phone, you're going to be seeing the question, you see the color, and then you tap the correct color that represents the answer, okay? Now, how it works is the faster you respond, the more points you get. So wase wanatumia Airtel, ama mnategemea MME Wi-Fi, mnaenda kuteseka hapa. So yeah, so continue joining in so that we can proceed. Ensure you're using Safaricom ama Starlink. I'm going to try, nitajaribu nitafute merchandise. Then the top 3 people kesho nitawaletea merchandise ya Tripoli mkuwe awarded. Nilisahau kubeba leo. So are we sote tumejoin? Before we start, tusiache mse. Okay, sawa. Can continue joining and be very keen. It will be those moments where I tell you, read the question and understand. Sawa. Because I think some of you are going to be answering carelessly, and then you're going to fail to get the marks. So you can continue joining as you wait for lunch, and then do the Kahoot, and then We'll see how we proceed from there. Who has not yet joined? Who has not yet joined? Tuwapatie time. Anybody haja join? Hata huko nyuma wafai kujoin. Si watu wa MMU Wi-Fi. Nawachomea na mimi hapo. Kila msee amejoin. Trying to sort some things here. So tunaweza join tena. Kulikuwa na some issues na MMU Wi-Fi. That just tells you that msana itegemea utaumia. So mnaweza join tena. Mnaweza join tena. So you can just proceed to type that pin and then you join. Let's join haraka haraka tuanze. Nani bado haja join? Can see you are around 30. Mnaweza join pia as a team. Yes.